Okay, good day, guys. Um, this is programming and databases class, no? Third edition. The book that I'm using is sa ICTopia. I hope you have your book with you, and I want you to turn it to page 5. And sa page 5, you will see there sa pinakababa niya, it's how we can run IntelliJ, no, to create our first project. So, the moment you will click the icon, yung IntelliJ, make sure that you have already installed IntelliJ IDEA and Java SE, no? So, after that, tatangin ka na yan ng new project. Okay? Then, when you click that new project, so dito kanya dadalhin. And then, you will just simply click next. Now, make sure you have selected Java. Okay, so I've selected Java, then click next. Okay, and then next pa rin. And then we will leave it as it is na muna sa ngayon. Okay, and then here's our blank Java document. Okay, and then if we click on the project, dito natin makikita ang isang folder na untitled. So ito yung kagagawa lang natin, no? And then you will click this. Tapos, click on source. Okay? And then, dito sa source, dito ka gagawa ng dalawang file. Okay? So, you simply right-click and then select Java class. Java class. And then, dito ka na maglagay ng name. So, first na pangalan na gagawin natin is welcome. Welcome class. So, you start with a capital letter, welcome. Then, enter. Okay. So, ganyan ang itsura ng ating welcome class, no? That's a blank one. And then, we will create another one. Java class pa rin. This time, greet. Okay. Then, enter. Okay. So, dalawang classes ginawa natin, no? We'll go first sa welcome. So, welcome, we will simply type ang you have it in your book, no? Ang ita-type natin is yung public void print welcome. Okay? And then close and open parentheses. Don't you worry, guys, ha, kasi we will explain this line by line sa class natin, no? For the meantime, copy lang muna natin kung ano yung nasa book. And then, we will type system dot out dot println. Okay, and then sa loob nito, this is where we will place welcome to Java. Okay, ganyan. Tapos na tayo sa isang class. Now, we will go to the greet na class. Double click. And then sa loob ng greet na class, we will create another public static void main, and then void main, and then dito sa kanya string brace, and then args. Type it out like that, and then gawa ka ng curly brace. Then inside of it, you will type welcome. So if we are instantiating, no, welcome is equals to new welcome. Okay, nakita nyo yung welcome na ginawa natin kanina, nakita niya. Okay, so kaya ang ginawa natin, tinawag natin yun siya. We are actually calling the first class that we made, which is welcome, and try to instantiate. We're saying that let this small welcome here be a new object having a class of welcome. Okay, so itong welcome na to, this welcome here, has the attribute na meron si welcome na ito. Ano ba yung meron sa welcome na ito? It says here, system.out println welcome to Java. This command that we have here, println, tells us that may ipiprint tayo. We will be printing something, no? What will be print? This message here. So here, that's what we are doing, no? We are creating an object coming from a new class, and then after that, what we'll do is we will call a method. Okay, we call this method, no? Method of printing, print welcome na tinatawag, and then ganyan lang. Okay? So, make sure na i-save natin ang dalawa. Nakasave na tayo. And then, we will run the grit. Okay? So, we'll try to run the grit na class, no? Napalakihan ko, guys, para makita talaga natin. I hope it's clearer, no? Kasi gusto ko maklaro ninyo siya. Cool. And then, let's try to run. Run si grit. And then, wait for a while. Still building. Okay, apps, welcome to Java. So, ito yung message natin dito, no? So, don't worry about this one. Tingnan lang natin itong welcome to Java. So, this is the output that we have, no? Welcome to Java. So, if you observe, what we have here is that we have a class named welcome and grit. We have two classes here. Then here in the grid class, in the grid class, we are calling something called or another class which is being named as welcome. So what's inside welcome again? In the welcome class, we see one method. So this is a method, no? Okay, which is print welcome. When you say method, if we compare it to a certain car, some of the methods of what the car can do is it could perform brake, it could speed up, okay, so on and so forth. Those abilities of the car, those are all called method, no? So here, in the welcome class, one of the method that it has is the so-called print welcome, okay? And then, what exactly does the print welcome method, which is belonging to the welcome class, do? It's inside this particular curly brace na. So what it does is it will print welcome to Java. So this is the command to print. System.out println is a command that tells the computer to print this message, welcome to Java. And then okay, so every time this is a standard format now. When there's a certain command of execution that you will do, you have this curly braces wherein you will type how the program should perform. And then here in grit, okay, this particular class, it is again trying to create a method, but this time it's called main, no? Void main. Unlike here, it's public static. Automatically, it's declaring print welcome as the name of the method. In our case here, we said public static void main, wherein it will tell us that this is what will run, and then string arg. So these are standard parameters that we have here. And the next is we are trying to instantiate a certain object which we call welcome. Okay, so welcome, we call first the name of the class. So class welcome, so we declared that there is this new object coming from the class welcome, which also we call as welcome. And then let this be declared as new welcome. Okay, so that's basically the standard of how we try to instantiate an object, no, coming from a class where it belongs. Okay, so welcome is equals to new welcome, and then um, after that we call a method. Okay, what method are we calling? We are calling a method called print welcome. So remember, this particular method is the very method that we have here, no? Print welcome. This is the method of class welcome. So we are calling class welcome. We are declaring new object. Then how to do that now? So welcome. Okay, let me show you. No, the moment we add welcome, remember this welcome now actually is having the capability of what a welcome class is all about. If it's a car, you're saying that this particular car is this particular object is a car. So therefore, this welcome here has all the capability of a car. If it's a car, since this is welcome, so this particular object which we call as welcome, okay, and when has the capability of a class welcome. So what's the capability of class welcome? Again, it's to print, no? This is the method, print welcome. So we would want to call that particular method. So the moment you try to that print, you will see that print welcome is already there, no? It has seen this particular method as coming from the welcome class. Okay, so that print welcome, and that's what happens, no? It gives us the welcome to Java. So if ever we will try to create, okay, this is an example, no? Let's try to create a new method, no? This time, say, this print welcome here is, say, welcome to, print welcome to, and the message of which is, well, hello, J. Marians. Jamarians. Okay, it's something like that. Okay, so this is a method called welcome to, no? Print welcome to. So if ever instead of print welcome, if ever we'll try to call the method to, as you can see here, when the moment we save that out and try to run this one, you will observe that, wait, okay, still compiling. Okay, the message is now hello Gmarians, because it's the message of welcome to. Okay, okay, that's how it works, no? If ever we still have another one, just for the illustration, so for example, another one, welcome 3 this time, welcome, so for example, this is Davao City. Okay, so for example, it's something like that. Then let's go here and try to call. So for example, we'll try to call two methods now, methods 2 and methods 3. Save it and try to run. Debug first, then debug is we're trying to check if there are some error. Yeah. Okay, then we try to run. Okay, so what we have here are two methods now. First method, print welcome to, hello Jumarians. Print welcome 3, this is Davao City. Okay, so that's the very concept that I want you to realize how programming works now. If ever we want still to print this one, we can do so, no? We'll simply call that one, remove this since the first method is just simply welcome. Okay, and again, we'll try to run this one. And now we are seeing the three output of three methods of the class welcome. Okay, so I hope it's quite clear how a basic output such as this one is being done in Java. And then if you turn to page 13, this is an introduction about the user face na. What we have on top is the menu. Okay, so this file here, I'm using Mac, no? Kaya ganito ang itsura ko. And then what we have here is the title bar. Okay, titled sa inyo dyan, no? If you're in Windows, you could see how it looks, no? And then very much the same, I guess, no? And then ito sa baba, this is what we call as the status bar. Okay, status bar. And then that's if you notice also, if ever we have some error here, it will turn into red, no? That signifies that there's something wrong. Okay, same is also true here. If ever we have missed out something, it will turn into red. Okay, but on here, sir, how come there's no error? Because in the output area, will you in between the double quote, anything that you will place there would automatically be treated as it is, no? That's why when you run, the program doesn't care what if ever the if it's right or wrong, the spelling, because as long as you place it inside that double quote in this area, everything uh, will be presented as it is. Okay, and then also have the toolbar here now. If you want to search for some classes, for some files, you can search it over here. That is quite helpful, especially if we have a lot of classes already now soon. Okay, so you've seen how error messages goes, no? It turns into red, etc. And then at page 15, you have their kind of review. So kindly answer that one. And then if you turn to lesson 2, this is understanding the Java program. No? From the previous lesson, you learned that a Java program can consist of one or more classes. In our example, we tried creating two different classes. What are the classes? Class greet and class welcome. Then we were able to create three methods also in welcome Java. And we called those three methods in the class greet. Itawag natin yung tatlong method niya. And then, the first line, welcome to Java. So we could actually create something like this, no? So for example, as you can see, it's colored green, no? And if you try to run, it's not affected, no? This is what we call as comment, no? So that is good for making remarks, no? This is method 1 of welcome class. Okay, this is a method 2 of welcome. So it's a good practice for us to give remarks, no, so that um especially if we have a lot of codes already, we could be reminded on what that particular line of code is all about, no. But of course, you need not to really give that description on each line, no. It, it probably, if there's like significant part wherein there's a shift of the function, or some kind of operation that is very critical on that part and you want it to be documented, then that's a good time for you to create some comment on that. Okay, and then if you turn to page 18, okay, line 2, public class welcome. Line 2 defines the beginning of the new class. Okay, so here, this signifies the beginning of a new class now. Modified, it could be public or private. If it's private, it would be accessible in that particular class only. But if it's public, just like what we have here, we are able to call this particular class because this particular class is public. Okay, so in the book, modifier, class, then class name. Modifier, class, then the class name. Okay, so that's how it's being defined. No, modifier, the class, then the class name. In line 3, here, public void print welcome. Line 2 here na. Kasi nag-space natin dito. Public void print welcome. Line 3 shows the start of the method, which is print welcome, the method. The syntax for defining a method is modifier, return type niya, void, wala siyang i-return, and then the method name. Okay, so let me repeat that. Modifier, this is a modifier, then the void here is the return type. Ano yung i-return niya? Sa atin, it's just void, no? Void, kung ano lang yung meron dyan sa baba, void lang siya. And then, print welcome is the name of this particular method, no? So, hanggang kung saan siya nag-start, dito nag-end, this part here is of the method print welcome, no? Itong line na to. And then, this one sa welcome to. So, yan yung area niya. Okay? Can add some space there. And then, void is the return type for the print welcome. So, ito yung return type niya. Again, this is modifier. Ito yung i-return niya or return type and then method name. A method that returns void returns nothing. Return types are discussed further in lesson 8. So in this next line, system.out.println, this one here, this line shows how to print text in Java. Okay, so ito yung standard printing into Java, no? Println method. This displays the message inside the parentheses on the screen, and then the cursor is placed on the next line. Okay, and then semicolon. You always end up with that in your command, and then the next preceding lines, which are the curly braces. Okay, it's in line 5 and line 6. Okay, again sa spacing on differential. The brace is on line 5 closest to the method print welcome, and the brace in the line 6 closest to the class welcome. Take note that the opening brace on line 3 is paired with a closing. Okay, I hope you're able to recognize now na opening and closing. Okay, after you have created the modifier, then ano yung return type, which is void. So, not necessarily kung ano lang meron. You do not require void. And then, the name of the method. Then, after here, on this part, here you will write what exactly this method will do. Okay? And then, it ends up with semicolon, this particular command. And then, this is the whole command on what print welcome will do. Okay, and then in line 1 to 3 on the main.java or in the grid.java, parang mali itong ano niya, no? Main.java, no? This class contains the main method. Okay, main method. This is still a method, no? Return, modifier, and then class, static class, and then return, and then main. Okay, so sabi niya, in this particular line, lines 1 to 3, contains a multi-line comment. Wait ha, alam naman natin ang comment eh. Let's talk about public class main, no? Here, si main. This declares the main class. The brace after the class name indicates the start of the class. Okay, so after ng brace na to, ito yung start ng class na mismo. Okay, public static void main string. Nasa page 19 ako. I'm on page 19. Line 6 here. public static void main string args, this particular line here. Okay, sir, line 6 lagi dyan. Okay, spacing lang na siya, no? Pwede na ito na siya i-move. Gusto niyo line 6 siya. Gusto niyo line 6. Just a spacing, guys. So, this particular line, no? Public static void main string args. This is a program execution which starts from line 6. The Java interpreter should see this main method definition as is, except for args, which is user-defined. Okay, so yan yung purpose ng line na yan, no? For program execution, the Java interpreter will be seeing that, no, na you are creating some kind of string. When you say string, this is a series of characters, A, B, C, D, okay, mga names, string, and then, so it's standard, no? So we don't have to worry much on that na lahat kasi standard lang siya, automatic. Ganyan talaga ang itsura when you try to declare a main, no? That's by default. And then, here on the welcome greet, dito, welcome, greet new name, welcome, sa kanya pala is greet pala ang ginamit. Pwede din, kung if ever, greet ang ginamit mo dito, so you have to call this one as greet. Okay, same story. Okay. Pansin niyo similarities, no? And then, ano pa sabi niya dito? In line 7 shows how an object is defined in Java. Here, the object greet is created. The word greet is user-defined. So, pwede ka change. You can have even your name in its place if you want your name. Pwede ka pansin. The general syntax for defining an object in Java is, so here, we are defining an object, no? So, how to define an object? Para you tell the program that this particular object will have that particular class. The standard format is, first, you write the class name. Ano ba yung class name na gagamitin natin? Pagkukuhaan, di ba? Welcome. So, class name niya, welcome. Then, object name, which is greet, and then equals new. So, this is a keyword to instantiate a new object in that particular class. And then, class name, and then argument. So, blank ang argument natin ito, and then semicolon to end the command. Okay. And then, on the page 20, greet.print welcome, ito na part, sa kanya is malaki lang letter ginamit niya, sa atin is maliit. So, walang problema yun. Kung malaki dito, same lang. Makita niyo na, no? Tropa pa rin yan sila. Okay? And then, greet.print welcome. This line illustrates how a method of a class is called. So, how a method. So, ito yung method na tinatawag natin. Since gusto nating magamit ang method na yan, kaya gitawag natin siya from greet. Oh. So, ito yung mga kakayanan niya na pwede nating gamitin. Okay? Print welcome 2, print welcome 3. Then, what we did here is gitawag natin ang tatlong method niya. Print welcome 2, print welcome 3. Napansin niyo puro greet lang dito. Bakit? Kasi, that's the name of the object, no? Object greet. And then, ang class niya is welcome. So, ito yan siya. Okay, I hope that's pretty clear, no? I hope this explanation is quite clear. And then, on lesson 3, these are some keywords, no? Reserved words na hindi natin pwedeng gamitan as some kind of name for labeling kasi reserved keywords yan sila. Okay? So, in lesson 3, let's talk about Java keywords now. In computer programming, the right names and labels are important. I'm on lesson 3, page 24. This is page 24. In computer programming, the right names and labels are important if you want your program to work smoothly and without glitches. Of course, alangan naman will it would be too funny. You will try to create a program and you are expecting it to be rough and filled with glitches, di ba? You want it to be smooth and free from glitches. The wrong word or label might destroy your entire program script if you are not careful, or at the very least, make it impossible for the program to run smoothly. This lesson will teach you how to use certain Java keywords and identifiers in order to execute a simple program effectively. So what follows is a table of Java keywords. Keywords in Java are reserved for specific uses. The Java compiler recognizes these keywords for their specific purpose. So programmers are not allowed to use them as identifiers. When you say identifiers, these are mere names na example, identifiers, so anong pangalan ang gamitin mo. So what we have here, the abstract, case, const, double, finally, if these are all reserved keywords na hindi natin pwedeng gamitin. Okay? So I hope that's clear, no? Those are reserved keywords that shouldn't be used, no? Um, wait, ha? Keywords. Gusto kong tingnan na. So, if we try to check it around here, you could see ano ba yung iba't ibang keywords. Okay, so ang dami niya, no? So these are parang prohibited to use keywords, no? Okay, and then you also have identifiers, no? Identifiers are user-friendly names for methods, variables, constants. So mga pangalan na tayo lang ang gumagawa. Here, okay, tayo ang nag-declare nito eh. Ano ba yung pangalan nito? Gagamitan natin na method dito. Diba? Tayo na ang naggawa nito ng name na to. While these are standard commands, no? But in this part, tayo na ang bahala kung ano ilagay. Those are all identifiers. Identifiers are user-friendly names for methods, variables, constants, and classes. I'm on page 25. In creating identifiers, follow these rules. So, we have to follow some rules pag gagawa tayo ng pangalan for identifiers. The first rule is the first character of your identifier should start with a letter of the alphabet, an underscore or a dollar sign. After that, the identifier can then be composed of alphanumeric characters and underscores. Okay, so sabi niya, pwede ka mag-start ng letter of the alphabet, an underscore or a dollar sign. Okay? Then after, bahala na ka if ever alphanumeric ABCD, underscore, or number. Basta, particular lang siya. It's just particular on the first character. It should be underscore, dollar sign, or a letter with alphabet. So, in short, hindi pwedeng number. Okay? For the first character, no, of your identifier. Then rule number 2, create identifiers that are descriptive of their purpose. Of course, like say for example, a greet, and then instead of having a greet, what if welcome banana? I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all, no? Parang there's no connection to banana, and then yung class na instantiate mo is welcome. Okay, so as much as possible, it should be related, no? When you try to create a name, make sure, kaya that's why it's being called as identifier, because that particular word will identify in connection with the class or whatever purpose you are declaring that one. That should identify, okay? So, if your identifier is composed of several words, maximum length per identifier is 65,535 characters. Wala naman sigurong, I don't think that we'll try to create such name that long, no? Capitalizing the first letter of each word is a good programming practice. Okay? So, it's a good programming practice to capitalize the first letter. So, yeah, something like this one. And then, your identifier must contain no spaces. So, that's important, no? So, we have an example here, no? So, number 3, valid identifiers, dollar sign rate. So, 3 underscore rate is wrong. Then, last name, comma, please. So, these are other characters na involved niya, and then, therefore, dili siya acceptable, no? Remember, dollar sign lang. After that, dollar sign, any letter of the alphabet and underscore, sila lang yung pwedeng mauna. They are, in rule number 1, the first character should only be letter of the alphabet, underscore, or a dollar sign. Other than that, hindi na pwede. It's not allowed. Okay? Then, we also have the so-called data types. No? So I only have like, um, actually medyo, ilang pages pa to? I think I still have 4 pages pala na to go. Data types also. Java has 2 sets of data types. When you say data types, these are the these are the like the kinds of data that we could use in the program. No, there's the so-called primitive and reference or non-primitive. Below is a table of primitive data types with a few example of data that they can handle. So very nice, no? Hatagan yung example. No? So if you're handling like hello world, that is string. So since it's a simple greetings word nang naman yan. So string. Um, we also have boolean, no? Which is true, true or false. Then we also have char for character a z, okay, slash n or 6. Then byte, short, int. Okay, this is more of sa mga numeric. Kasi kung 3 point blah 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 something that you should declare it as float. Kung mahaba siya, double float. Then long, int, short. Okay, so these are all the different data types that Java accepts. No? I-explain niya dito isa-isa, the definition. And then, um, it's important for us to also realize that ano yung capacity ng kada isang data type. So, for example, byte. When you say 8 bits, 8 kind of 8 characters ang kaya niya, no? So, when you say byte na ganun kahaba na character. Okay? And then, sa short naman, it's 16. And then sa int, 32. Sa long, 64. Okay? So, sir, bakit kailangan pa? Why do we need to know the length? The length of each data type, no? Bakit kailangan ganyan? Di ba pwedeng long na lang? Can't we have everything be long na lang so that the range would be a lot higher? Actually, you will have some problem on it when you have a lot of records already. I mean, the more lengthy it becomes, the more cumbersome it is in the processing, no? Except for example, when you try to declare of data type short, then in reality, the length of your character of the characters is only like 5, so you're actually wasting all of those 11 bits in every time you will run the program. So it's a waste of resources. So that's why you have to measure it out what is the closest length of your characters would be. Is it like 8 bits only? So you try to make it of data type byte. Okay. Float and double are floating point literals, numbers with possible decimal parts. Float is 32 bits and length double is 64 bits. And then we also have the so-called variables. When you say variables, these are identifiers whose value can be changed. No? Say, for example, this one. These are variables that we can change the value. Okay. So there are some examples being presented here. Public variable example, public static void main string args, boolean pass chart. So example dito, boolean pass. This is a variable declaration wherein the variable passed has the data type boolean. Same sa char equivalent grade. Equivalent grade here, I'm on page 27, ha? I'm on page 27. The equivalent grade here is the variable. The data type of equivalent grade is char. Okay, so on and so forth. This the page 27 is trying to show us in this example how we can declare a certain variable on what data type it is, no? Okay? Then so more examples are being given. Okay, we also have the so-called constants. Um, In contrast to variables, constants are identifiers whose values never change once declared. The general syntax for declaring constant is final, type, identifier, literal. So, sir, how come there are some variables that we need to declare as constant? There are important variables that you really should be careful that it should not the value should not be changed. For example, like if it's if it's like uh, a value that should never be changed, no, um pi, or whatever value that should never be changed. So for example, uh it's the standard of in tax, no, like you have this certain percentage that should be used every time you will call this particular tax. See, if that would be constant all throughout, and especially if it's very critical, then you can declare it as final, no? In that way, even if you will try to call it a lot of times, that particular variable, that value will not change, no? While on the other hand, if it's not constant, um, say for example, the grid that we did, this particular variable, if you will try to call it and give it another value in another part of your program, that particular, it would still be accepted, no? Because it's just a typical variable. But if it's being declared as final or a constant, then all throughout, that value will never change. Then we also have the so-called casting. Okay, casting is the process of assigning a value of variable of a specific type to a variable of another type. So we call it casting, no? If there's this particular variable that we declare as of this type, and then we try to change that along the way, um, pwede ma-change yun siya. So that concept is casting. I think I will not continue all throughout this one, no? Kasi it might be confusing. I want it to be more more actual ang mangyayari. Okay, so I guess that's just the lesson that we will have today. So I ended up ano no, page 28. Okay, page 28. So hopefully this is the video that I had this recording already, because I'm trying to anticipate what if we'll have some internet problem along the way. At least you have this video to look upon, no? And I will play it. Um, if there are other questions, please send me a message on our GC, and you can expect some tutorials coming up. I want it to be more hands-on, no? And then kindly reread the book, no? And if there are still some questions that you want to be satisfied with answers, so um, we always have Google to do so, no? So I hope your learning will not be limited on what I'm telling you, no? Google is there. You can watch YouTube for further tutorials. I would encourage you to do so. And by the way, yep, I'll be having some announcement in our class proper. For the meantime, I think that's it for today. It's actually 12 a.m., 12:21. I think I need to go to bed. So that's it, guys, and have a great Friday. Okay, bye bye.